Hello Electroheads and welcome back to the YouTube channel. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. Who on earth am I? Well, I'm Tish and I've just joined the Electroheads team. I am slightly qualified. I've been running my own YouTube channel for the past 2 years and I'm so excited to bring you new electric car reviews. Ailish, this is about me now. Wait, hang on, she does have a point. Once you've subscribed to the Electroheads YouTube channel, head over and follow us on Instagram as well. We'll pop it in the description box. But less about me and let's talk about the car that I've got on the channel today, and that's the Skoda Enyaq IV. Now this is Skoda's first car that's been built from the ground up to be specifically an IV, and it's taken Europe by storm. Why? Because it offers tons of interior space, as well as a really decent range. However, it's not all great. Some people have grumbled that the packs that you get to build the IV are a little bit complicated. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at it in a bit more detail and trying to decide whether it's still a worthy all-electric family SUV.
The Enyaq is a large SUV, about the same size as the Audi Q5, and unlike a lot of the current large electric SUVs, it doesn't require you to break the bank to be able to afford it. In fact, the Skoda comes in 2 different battery packs, which I'll elaborate on later, but the smaller versions even qualify for the £2,500 government grant. It's recognisably Skoda, but definitely not Skoda that we've known in the past. Despite being one of the biggest EVs on the road, the Enyaq's simple styling and creases down the bodywork create a sleek and stylish design. Skoda were conscious of the need to ease their audience into electric, so the Enyaq gets a familiar front grille, to match with the rest of the current lineup.
The Skoda Enyaq is the Gemma Collins of the car world, and that's because it's been bejazzled. It's got some LED crystal headlights, and then that diamond theme has been carried across onto the wing mirrors. At the end of this year, you'll actually even be able to add on a crystal light-up grille. The Skoda Enyaq comes standard with 19-inch alloy wheels. However, ours have been upgraded to the 20-inch Wenger alloys. Now these look absolutely fantastic. You can actually upgrade these to a whopping 21, which look great, but they do make the ride a little bit unsettled and we don't really think they're worth it. The Enyaq's boot is absolutely massive. Inside here you've got 585 litres of boot space. That's bigger than you'll find in the Mustang Mach-E or the Volkswagen ID4. And it's clever storage as well. You've got a retractable parcel shelf. You've got some underfloor storage to pack away your cables. And you've even got some handy little luggage hooks. However, unfortunately, it's not all great news with the boot. Unfortunately, it doesn't come standard with a variable boot floor to give you a flat load lip. And despite how heavy this car is, you don't get an electric boot as standard. However, you are given this handy grab handle. Are we supposed to be grateful? Coming into the back of the car, and it really lives up to that family life ethos. There's lots of clever little adaptations if you go for some of the family packs that make sitting in the back really comfortable, and that includes some rear tray tables. You've also got some pockets on the back of the seats for your smartphones, a couple of USB-C charging ports, and you've even got these sun blinds, so kids will be really comfortable back here. You can easily sit 2 6-foot people in these side seats. However, the middle seat isn't so impressive. It's actually quite narrow, which is a real shame, and that means that the seat belts can dig in slightly. Coming on to the interior of the Enyaq, and the first thing to say is that when you're first building your Enyaq, you choose between various different ambiances for the interior.
These consist of Loft, which is free of charge, Suite and Eco Suite costing around a £1,500 premium, Lounge a touch over £1,000 and Lodge a smidge over £500. Interestingly, Suite and Eco Suite are the most expensive as they include real leather, something that a lot of manufacturers are moved away from, although it is ethically sourced and sustainable.
Originally, when I first jumped in the Enyaq, I wasn't too sure how I felt about this lounge interior. But do you know what? It's really grown on me. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's that really comfy, cosy lounge feel. One of the first things you're going to notice when you jump in the Enyaq is this massive 13-inch infotainment screen, and it's one of the biggest on the market. Now we kind of have a love-hate relationship. There's some things I love about this screen and others not so much. One thing I love is the fact that it actually has some physical buttons, something you won't find in the Volkswagen ID3 and 4. However, it still is a little bit fiddly to use, but Skoda have thought a little bit about this, and you have this bar along the bottom that you can rest your hand on. So this means when you're driving along and you need to stab at the screen, you're going to be a bit more precise in what you're doing. Other things I absolutely love is the climate control dials. So you have the quick button to take you there, and then once you're there, you can choose between these clever little options. So if you want to quickly defog your windows, you can quickly click the shortcut button and it will take you instantly there.
That large screen is standard, and other equipment includes wireless Apple and Android CarPlay, satellite navigation, a rear view camera, automatic lights and wipers, cruise control, lane assist, dual zone climate and a virtual cockpit. In fact, all of that equipment results in a very comfortable car. However, if you prioritise things like heated seats, that electric boot, keyless entry and adaptive cruise control, you'll soon see the price creep in towards £40,000, even for the smaller battery car, which is a lot for a Skoda.
So let's talk about those two different battery sizes. The Skoda Enyaq comes in the option of either a 58 kilowatt hour battery or a 77 kilowatt hour battery, and they formally call these the 60 and the 80. The smaller of the two battery sizes has an 178 brake horsepower motor, which if you wanted an idea of how fast that is compared to an ICE model, then it's around the same as an old 2-litre petrol or turbo diesel, and that car has a claimed range of 256 miles. This 77 kilowatt or 80 model hoiks that power to 201 brake horsepower, and it gets a whopping 333 miles of predicted range.
The 60 version of the Skoda Enyaq tucks just under the £35,000 mark and is very well priced compared to similar sized electric rivals. It even qualifies for the £2,500 grant from the government, something that you won't get on any Ford Mustang Mach-E or VW ID4. If you want an electric SUV for less money, you'll need to go for something a lot smaller. Think Hyundai Kona Electric, Kia e-Niro, MG ZS EV. Despite having the larger battery, the 80 version is less compelling, partly because it's more expensive to start with, coming in at $39,365, but also because it doesn't qualify for the government support, making it nearly £7,000 more expensive than the smaller battery. Though it's still cheaper than the equivalent versions of the ID4 and Mustang Mach-E though.
Performance levels are really well judged and it definitely feels fast enough. However, don't go expecting Tesla levels of performance, because if you do, you might be a little bit disappointed. The two battery variants are only separated by 0.2 of a second when it comes to their 0 to 62 times. The Skoda 80 takes 8.2 seconds to hit that mark, which doesn't sound particularly quick, but then again, both versions weigh nearly 2 tonnes, so it's no surprise. However, the Enyaq hides its weight relatively well, and that's because the battery is mounted low down in the floor, keeping the car's centre of gravity relatively low for an SUV. In fact, it handles even better than the Skoda's Karoq or Kodiaq SUVs, with more positive steering and less roll. The smaller 60 battery model comes standard with 50 kilowatt hour charging. You can pay around £440 to upgrade that to 100 kilowatt hour charging. On the larger 80, you can pay the same amount to whack that up to a massive 125 kilowatt hour charging. This means that with these upgrades for both models, you can get a 0 to 80% charge in around 40 minutes, which is quite impressive.
125 kilowatt hour charging stations are still tough to come by, and people will want to know how long it will take from that at-home wall box, which is around 12.5 hours from empty on the 80 model and slightly less on the 60. One thing that is a little bit disappointing is if you'd like to precondition your Enyaq to get the best out of your range in the winter, a heat pump will cost you a further £1,000.
So whether you go for the 60 or the 80, as long as you get your packs correct, the Skoda Enyaq iV is still a great viable electric family car option. What do you think of the Skoda Enyaq? Let us know in the comments below, and if you've got any clever tips or tricks for speccing one up, then comment that down below as well. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me or the Electroheads team, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Until next time guys, bye.